Hello and half a day, and welcome to New Game Plus, a video game talk show based on Guam with three handsome men and their very expensive audio setups. Now, under the Laddie Esports banner, I'm Tim.
You can introduce me, man.
That's Barry, ShaydoGaming Hernandez, and to the top right is Matthew Mattuhat Okado. Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Hey, what's going on, man? You know, just big chilling for 20 minutes on that intro screen. I took like 2 poops. It's fine.
It is.
But half a day. I'm ShaydoGaming, of course. Matt, you can introduce yourself as well. We'll talk about ourselves before we start talking about the rest of the night.
You can't talk about poops, Barry. This is family friendly.
About it's KOM, it's fine. So I'll start with the introductions because we do need to introduce ourselves. We're in a different network now. So we're part of the KOM Podcast Network and as well as Laddie Esports. My name is ShaydoGaming. Some of you guys might know me from commentary on Laddie Esports first-person shooters. But I actually started out as a fighting game community organizer. So I did commentary for fighting games, tournament organization, which all of us have done. Tim has done, and as well as Matt has done. I was also I guess I would say head organizer of the Otaku Recon anime convention, but now I'm just a government drone. So that's yeah, I just play video games now. I just have fun, and that's about it. That's me.
Okay, cool. Matt?
Oh my gosh, my name is Mattuhat. I'm a recent blonde. I revived the melee scene by myself and my friends, and that's all I have. I collect video games and I drink energy drinks. That's all I am.
Cool.
Shout out to G-Show.
Good evening, everyone.
No.
My name is TimFox. I used to be blonde. But anyway, my credentials, I guess, I just play Super Smash Bros. Melee a lot. And that's how I met Barry and Matt, actually. I begged Barry to bring Super Smash Bros. Melee into whatever fighting game tournaments he was hosting. And he was like, yeah, shoot. And the rest is history. We've been on trips together. We've organized tournaments together. And, you know, we've made a lifelong friendship, I feel. Oh, watch, we're not friends anyway. Just kidding. And now we're podcast hosts together. But yeah,
I just realized the first tournament it was Otaku Recon. The first one I did. My first convention was the first Melee tournament, if I recall. Yeah, because you were asking, and I remember I was like, who's this dude in the Chocobo outfit?
Yeah, no. Yeah. No, it was before that. We did a Ganya shopping. Well, no, it was a Ganya shopping center because I remember lugging my.
Oh, we got kicked out.
Yeah, my 32. No, I remember lugging my 32-inch CRT TV up the stairs because the tournament was up. No, it wasn't upstairs. It was upstairs, up on the second floor when they kicked us out. Yeah, we kicked. Yeah. That was pretty much it.
We got kicked out. I remember that because we had to put a projector on the wall across from G3, and they're like, "Hey, you can't do that." I'm like, "Dude, we're almost done. Just give us this." Because it was like 8:30 already. They closed at 8.
Yeah, we had grand finals too.
Please just let us stay. This gate doesn't need to be closed just yet. I was like begging the security guards, like, all right, I'll have to let the the office know. It's like, okay, that's fine. I already knew the office manager and all that stuff, but I was like, oh my god, it sucks. Melee's booty. But then I hated it. I hated Melee for the longest time because it took forever.
No, because we did a best of 7 at the time.
Yeah.
No one ever does that. No, don't ever do that again. Best of 7. When it gets to the 7th game, you're gonna hate it. But anyway, we are New Game Plus, so we're not actually pretty new. This is kind of our 3rd season, but after season 2, we decided to join hands with the Laddie Esports League and bring pretty much our insights into video game news, happenings, and Shaydo Barry. Man, it's weird calling you Shaydo.
Yo, you know what? I'm Shaydog aiming. No, it's fine. Just call me Barry. It's fine.
Yeah, he's gonna be kind of giving highlights for recent tournaments under Laddie, and just announcing all Laddie news along with it. But yeah, we've been around a while, but if you want to hit up old episodes, we're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. Just look for New Game Plus Guam because that's the easiest way to filter us among the other New Game Pluses. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much and New Game Plus in a nutshell. And, Barry, anything else?
Not so much. I mean, we can catch up on what we've been doing. Honestly, the past 2 weeks, I've just been playing Guilty Gear Strive,
Mhm.
and that game, it's a fighting game. If you guys don't already know, and like I mentioned before, I love fighting games and I play fighting games as much as I can. And oh, I forgot. We've been playing Valheim for like 2 weeks straight.
We've been playing
Anyway.
Valheim. All three of us on
Yes.
on a server together with a whole bunch of friends. I think we have like 8 people on Valheim. If you don't know what Valheim is, it's kind of like a Minecraft meets Vikings.
Norse.
Yeah, it's a Norse
Norse.
Minecraft.
Mhm.
But yeah, so outside of that, I've been playing Guilty Gear Strive, and it's a fighting game that has what I would consider probably the paradigm shift when it comes to fighting games now, which is rollback netcode, which is a type of network protocol where fighting games have a better time playing online with people around the world. So Guam, I mean, everyone knows Guam doesn't have the best ping when it comes to video games, right? Fighting games even more so is very difficult because of how like the game runs at 60 frames a second, and there's some things that are literally 1 frame perfect kind of stuff. So having high latency and delay based netcode and having the game slow down or lag out is just unacceptable when you're trying to play online in a competitive level. But with Guilty Gear Strive, the first probably I would say AAA fighting game that is introduced rollback netcode in the modern age, notwithstanding fan releases of AAA titles, aka Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube, but having rollback has become this sort of like buzzword that a lot of players use now, where it determines whether the game is playable or not. And
100%.
speaking of 100%, right? It's like I can play people from the States in a completely competitive environment.
No,
because
if your fighting game does not have rollback, it's like it's very hard to take seriously, in my opinion.
could you imagine playing Dragon Ball Fighters this day and age today? Cabardians in chat, can you imagine playing that piece of something game now with that rollback
Barry.
netcode?
I got you. I could imagine myself not even playing it when it released.
Yeah, because you
I
don't
didn't
play
play
it.
with
But
Dog water.
speaking of arena fighters and rollback netcode, we actually have our first article that just released today.
This today, yeah, we gotta talk about this.
Today, Twitter's all over it. It's that yo fresh Chobo with the shout out Nickelodeon All Stars
Brawl.
Battle Brawl All Star Brawl, and it has rollback netcode. An indie developer is developing the game. It has Powdered Toast Man, and I think it has Reptar, and I think it has Hanukkah Jewish Tommy in it, which is sick because he has a sword and shield. I don't think he's there.
no Young Money. I'm gonna be a Nigel main. That was when they revealed Nigel. Oh man, I'm in 100%. And then
Turtles.
no, yeah, and the Ninja Turtles too. I wonder how many. No, they were joking around. Like the comments are joking around how only I think 2 Ninja Turtles were there. It's like they couldn't afford the rest of them for the IPs, and honestly, that kind of makes sense, right? Like you can only have like Donatello and Michelangelo in your game. Can you afford the other 2? I don't know. Helga Pataki.
Donatello's
man.
like the cheapest turtle. No one likes Donatello. What are you talking
He's
about?
the smartest one.
He's a loser. What are you talking about?
No.
He's a
Wow,
stick.
I feel like you're projecting right now because he's smart and I like him.
No, but
Raphael. That's who you want.
Raphael's such an edgelord. That's like the DeviantArt 1999.
He's a
or
party
early
dude.
2000 player.
Oh my goodness.
no, but yeah.
Party dude.
This game was developed by the same indie. Was it Slap City? But
Yeah,
City.
Slap City.
Slap City. It's basically Slap City is kind of a Super Smash Bros. Clone that the Smash community
Who's
really,
Linkin
really like.
Loud? Who is that guy?
Oh,
See,
from the
you know
Loud
what
So
I'm
you know,
saying
yeah,
about this game?
it's pretty much a Smash game, but with Nickelodeon
what's-
characters. Zanny Cheeks.
No, but what's cool is you can realize that this isn't kind of sort of a cash grab that a lot of like people think it is, because they introduce characters that are older than some of the people that are gonna play it. Like Ren and Stimpy is like a 1998
Dude.
Cartoon.
All real monsters, dude.
Nobody know, dude. No, like if you see Twitter, they're like, "Who the heck is Oblina?" People only know, "Oh, is that the guy from the meme, Nigel Thornberry?" That's it.
Oh
People
man,
don't
they
know.
never watch
Isn't
the
that crazy?
Wild Thornberries. That's
It's, you know,
wild.
Oh, Lucy? Is that Lucy? I'm a Lucy
I
man.
don't even know who Lucy is. See, that's what's
I don't know
cool.
who
It's
she
like it
is
has
either.
a whole bunch. It has a huge Helga Pataki is
Yeah.
in it, dude.
Helga
Helga
G.
Pataki.
Pataki. Oh.
Oh, there's Reptar.
Reptar's so sick.
There's some other screenshots with like the cover art. of the game art, and there's some silhouettes, and we could see like Cat Dog in it too. Ooh, Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom mains in the
Yo,
house.
Leonardo. And the cool thing, okay, I'm gonna fanboy real quick. This is the original 1980s, 1990s cartoon design. You can tell because his little mouth thing and that big L and the ugly looking sash. Like this is a classic Leo too. That's so cool.
It's gonna be really, really fun. I think well, what did they say it was gonna be on definitely the Switch, because we gotta cater to the younger
the
audience.
thing is, they said that any platform that can support rollback, they will try to implement rollback. That's what the developers said. So that means it's a multi-platform title.
Rollback on the Switch. Can you imagine that? Is that a thing? Are there any games on the Switch right now that support rollback?
I was just watching the trailer. I don't know your answer, but I was watching trailer. Is that the drone like from the Turtles, like the one that Krang is in? Is that the thing? Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Oh, you also, if you notice, like if you have a really sharp eye, is that Leonardo actually is true to his arcade counterpart. He had the dive kick. He had the like lariat with the swords, which is his like I guess get off me move, like in a lot of beat 'em up titles. So he had I feel like it's a really like a passion project, and I'm excited to see how it is. It's memes, honestly, right now.
No.
Like Twitter is just like
Twitter is blowing up. This is gonna be a really, it's gonna sell a lot. Like I'm gonna play it, and I don't play. I'm a Melee
We're gonna
diehard
play it
fan.
for like 2 weeks. And
no, I'm gonna
play.
I'm gonna play. It's gonna be fun, dude. It's gonna be.
Yo,
fun.
are we gonna have a Thursday night? Oh, we can't.
Thursday night hype with Nickelodeon.
Thursday night hype with Nickelodeon.
Oh, that'd be cool if there was a Thursday night hype.
Yeah, if there
right?
was
That'd
a Thursday
be
night
cool.
hype, man. RIP Select Start.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
we don't talk about that.
Drake and Josh unlockable. We can't, dude, due to recent events.
Well, anyway, so moving on to the next article, you can talk about the EA leak because that's actually pretty big.
No, yeah, it happened a while back, but EA was recently hacked. Like a lot of their assets were stolen, a lot of the code was stolen. I think about like 780 gigs of data stolen, and including assets from Battlefield, Madden, and FIFA. I guess the Frostbite game engine that they use for these games, the source code was stolen. Player data wasn't stolen at all, but then a lot of the funny part, the reason why I think this is like talk worthy, is that I guess no one cared. Barry was like, I don't want to talk about it because it's EA. And EA is just like in the whole everyone hates EA. EA is that evil conglomerate that no one likes, but like apparently they're just still making a ton of money because people keep buying stuff. A lot of the jokes are like, oh yeah, the people who stole the FIFA source code, just the only thing they saw that was different was that the year changed from 2013 to 2017, etc. Yeah.
Well, I mean, EA makes money. Like, well, we got a couple people in chat that play an EA title right now. Technically, would be Apex Legends. We got Yamscote in the chat, so they make money. That's how they make money. They make money off of like Battlefield. They make money off of Apex and all that. So it sucks though, because when you think about it, it's 750 gigabytes, right? Or was it
780 gigabytes? 780, yeah.
Yeah,
Almost
so
a terabyte.
You can imagine. Sounds like a lot, right? It sounds like it's 1 terabyte. That's like a hard drive, right? But think about the time that it took to create that stuff, right? Developers, especially DICE, which is still in use today, having your source code leaked is huge when it comes to like trying to create anti-cheat systems for an engine that has been clearly exploited, which is the DICE engine. And that's kind of tough too, because DICE also handles I believe Apex Legends and Titanfall 2. So having your source code leaked like that is huge implications when it comes to dealing with anti-cheat. Honestly, there's been a huge influx of cheating in Apex that's been happening lately, and that could be attributed to the leak that happened with EA.
Wait,
so you don't know.
Talk to me about the cheating in Apex. Is it like a more like auto aim or map hacks kind of thing?
I'm only hearing Sargami and Yamscote's Twitter, but it's essentially just like a lot of cheating in the Asian servers, which is kind of like what people expect of Asian servers, I would say. It's just what I've seen it's hard to rank up as well. But outside of that, I mean, there's a lot of developers have had countless hours put into that 780 gigabytes, only for it to be lost to the void of the dark web, you know.
No, it just sucks,
Unfortunate,
yeah,
so.
because the time that they could have put into actual game development, they have to go back and make sure that you can't cheat. You gotta plug up all those exploits.
Yeah, and that's just one thing. You know, you're not even talking about assets being stolen to could be used in other titles that without their knowledge. Like a lot of things can be sold to the highest bidder when it comes to that stuff. So like not indie titles, but like games can figure out like techniques for shaders or like stage design and all that. You know, so we might not think that like game design is sort of a well, how would I say this? Well kept secret when it comes to how you design games, but you know, like there's a reason why they have NDAs.
Yeah.
Right. So unfortunate, but
unfortunate.
You know,
EA.
I don't like EA, so get wrecked.
Get wrecked, EA.
B word.
I mean, it's kind of cool though that some, like, if there are leaks, right, we do get like big fans of video games. Like I remember like the Mario 64 community, we still see them like, hey, we found how they got these sprites, we found how they got these, like, the textures for all these things. And so part of me is like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like if we could get some information and learn more about this game, and then that's all it is. But
I'm thinking about it's really good for the speedrunning community. If they could read the source code, they can exploit.
That's true. I like how you have
speedrun
3 different
text.
views on regards to what this is. That's fair. That's honestly, I never considered the speedrunning and like trying to find information about a game for archival purposes, you know?
Mhm.
Like, because I know you really care about that kind of stuff, man.
No, I know that shoot, was it Pokemon Go? I forgot, it was a Pokemon game or something. Whenever there was an update that came out, like a lot of people would go into the
source code.
And like, oh no, you know what? It's not a Pokemon game. It was Smash Ultimate.
Oh, data mining.
Yeah,
they would data mine.
They would data
It was
mine and like
Metroid 4,
look. Oh, is there any changes to like a character attributes, whatever? See if there's a
Or there's a
buff or
there's
nerf.
a new entry in the folder.
Yeah.
Like there's
New
a new
entry.
entry, like, oh, Roy, and everyone's like, oh my god, and it's
Oh.
not. Remember that? Like when they released Roy, and it was like, wait a minute, that's not Roy.
Oh, that'd be so funny. Like Soul Calibur
Well-
character.jpg or something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Roy
like the
Goo-
Smash stuff, like they didn't even like Nintendo never released like patch notes for it. They're just like, good, bad, this is it. There was nothing like,
No, the-
okay,
Yeah.
we increased it by this
It
much,
was a
but now they're
community
kind of
effort
better.
to deal with patch notes. I remember that.
No, but nowadays, I don't want to say Nintendo's better, but the patch
No, it's
notes are
not.
actually patch notes say stuff like, I remember reading like Marth Fair is better, or Marth Forward Air has been strengthened, but not there's no like actual hard numbers
Frame
to it.
data explanation as to it. Yeah, like a typical. Well, the thing is, like Nintendo doesn't consider it as a competitive fighting game, and therefore, the bare minimum doesn't need to be reached when it comes to games like that. You know,
Mhm.
they don't need to do it. They're just doing it because you know they can and feel like it. Maybe they need to. It's like a privilege, really, when it comes to those guys. But when it comes to other fighting games, it's like a bare minimum you have to do that.
Yeah.
Like if you do not provide like accurate data as to what you changed, actually not even fighting games. This happens to every single game that gets patched. Valorant just had a patch. Everything was specifically laid out. Apex gets patched. Everything's specifically laid out. Fighting games, except for NetherRealm games, specifically laid out.
It's funny you should mention that because I was just reading this like article about Melee and the Japanese scene, about how a lot of the Japanese players were, or a lot of Japanese people were kind of against the free Melee movement because they highly respect Nintendo. Like in their culture, it's like these guys are the developers and we should respect their wishes, etc., etc. And maybe that's why like Smash Ultimate is just the way it is, or you know what I mean? Because they're doing the bare minimum because this is what we are giving this to you. Accept it, and then I guess they're accepting of it.
Yeah, but meanwhile, America's like, nah, it's okay. We're gonna.
No, we are entitled. We want our
Well,
friend
that's
data.
The thing. That's the thing, man. Is like when it comes to fighting games, we could talk about other games, but it's specifically old fighting games before 2009, maybe even later, like 2011, 13, right? Is that you have a game that you do not expect to get patched, and you just gotta deal with it, right? If a new game comes out, for example, Melee, right? Melee comes out, everyone plays it. Brawl came out. You expect in general convention of today's esports world, you expect everyone to move to the new game. But a lot of like fighting game people and Smash people, when a new game comes out, they don't necessarily care about it. They could play Melee for how old is Melee? 21 years?
2001. So 20 years now.
19 years.
20 years. 20 years now.
You can be playing Melee for 20 years, and there's been like 5 Smash games that came out after. Nobody cares. Play Melee. People still play Street Fighter 2. There's 3 iterations that just came out, not in considering all of the patches that came out with it. But people still play Street Fighter 2. So like that's something that you kind of don't see in other esports realms where, okay, you're not going to see someone play CS 1.6 when CSGO comes out because money is where the newer game comes out, right? So it's a different beast when it comes to fighting games. Like I refuse to accept the Japanese community for doing that. But at the same time, we don't necessarily need one country to have a different point of view when everyone else is, going with the norm. Just play Melee.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, play Melee. If you don't like Ultimate, then you gotta deal with it or play Melee.
No, it's
or
funny.
Project M or Beyond Melee or whatever.
No, it's funny you should mention
Nicktoons.
it's funny that you should mention that the money is where the new game is, because this weekend is Summit 11 for Melee and the prize pool is over 100K. But that's not well, I guess when you say money, you're talking about money from the developer, money from sponsorships.
I'm talking about conventionally, yes.
But
because
this is,
Melee is one of the Melee is different. I mean, Matt knows this the best, is that they're a grassroots community effort that grew because of the love of the game, right? They're the only grassroots effort right now. You can't name any single major game that's an esports realm right now with teams, with money, with advertisement and marketing that aren't supported by the first party developer. Name
That's
one.
crazy. That's crazy. I'm so excited to see Nickelodeon All Stars Brawler just sponsored by Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon
Could you
everywhere,
imagine?
slime everywhere, and they have more money than the Melee community, and that sucks.
That would
It's
be so
funny,
wild.
though. Could there be like a Nickelodeon world tour? That'd be fun.
Oh man.
No, I can guarantee you this is a licensed game and not from like Nickelodeon themselves. Obviously, it isn't because it's a different developer. It's a developer's making it, and Nickelodeon's publishing it or giving them licensing rights.
Dude,
Could you imagine?
No, the fact that this game is like made by a Smash clone developer that's well received in the community, and it has rollback, apparently confirmed wave dashing. Kids are gonna get absolutely trashed online. They're gonna play it and like, why are these people so good? Cheats, wave cheating,
Wave cheating.
Fun
That's like
canceling.
Such a
That's
2008
yeah.
term.
Oh my
That is
gosh.
an old person term.
Yeah, we're talking about fighting games a lot. And we talk about Melee a lot, so that's kind of like a recurring thing
That's
among
your
us.
that's your
my shit,
Melee
yeah.
thing.
That's yeah.
So we're not gonna talk about the old. We're gonna talk about the new, which is the new Nintendo Switch that just came out. And that thing is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and by crazy, I mean absolutely useless for people who do not play portable.
No, it's absolutely
Like, it is absolutely useless. I will die on this hill.
no, it's absolutely useless for people who already have Switches. There's no reason why you should upgrade to this.
Okay. When I mentioned my argument and like dying on the hill, it's specifically for people who don't play portable mode. Portable mode, I think it's really good to have the new OLED Switch.
Oh yeah.
You have better battery life because you're using an OLED. You have better screen. You have, God forbid, hopefully better hardware. Not necessarily newer hardware, but better, more efficient hardware from the NVIDIA Tegra system. But if you're playing it in dock mode, then I don't know.
No. It's funny that you should mention that, because like you say it's good for portability mode, or for people who are on portable, but the other new feature is for docked mode, which is like
Yes.
pretty much the Ethernet port,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's like you can spend $12 and not have to just buy a
Listen, listen,
USB thing.
Barry, shut up. This is cool.
Go ahead.
Okay. The dock, right? It's sleek looking. Ooh, looks so nice. Ooh, it has you can plug in Ethernet. What if inside there, right? We don't know. They didn't say anything about like the dock, right? They didn't say, oh, we upgrade the dock. The dock could be upgraded. You could have better. It could be like Type C to whatever it normally is right now. It could be better. I'm excited. Am I gonna get it? No.
Yeah, that's
But
the
it's
thing. Like
cool.
we already have Switches. I don't even touch this thing. So why would I get another one? Well, it's not meant for. It's not honestly. It's not meant for the people like us. It's not meant for you, me, or Matt. This
No.
is meant for people who don't have a Switch yet, and this is meant for people who people who just want to buy the newest Switch, and people who want a more portable and battery-friendly Switch. Remember, OLED is the new technology. That's what they're touting a lot of, and OLED helps
Yeah, children.
a lot when it comes to battery life. Oh yeah, it's gonna be coming out, I believe, in probably I think no before the holiday. So
Before
it's
the
definitely
holiday,
gonna
yeah.
be yeah,
Oh,
it's gonna be
October.
available for Christmas. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
So
Is it
that's just
cheaper?
in-
No, it's a little bit more expensive the traditional
Yeah,
Switch,
Yeah,
right?
$50.
$50
Because
more.
of
You-
the Ethernet.
Yeah. Well, you can just buy.
No, you know what's funny? The
Ethernet
dock, the dock is actually going to be sold separately. You can
Then
get the dock. You can get the dock
What?
separately too. Yeah. Are you gonna
just
get
get
that
the
sleek
dock?
dock? Are you gonna get the sleek dock?
I'm just gonna get the system still.
Oh my god. You said you weren't gonna buy it.
No, he's gonna buy the dock.
I'm a liar. What do you want from me?
Okay, so October is usually when I used to work at GameStop. You guys didn't know. Usually want to release everything when it comes to holiday buying and holiday rush at October, because it takes about a month for every GameStop region to get their stuff in, and then another like couple weeks to finally get shoppers in, and the marketing takes forever. It used to take like we would usually get our marketing stuff in like beginning of November. That's too late already. So it usually releases in October. So that's good. I'm glad they did that.
It's good. Yeah, it's just funny. Like my Switch is just kind of like collecting dust. Like I only got it for the Nintendo exclusives. I don't use it as a gaming console. Like sometimes I can't justify having a super powerful PC and a Switch. Like I'll just play. I'll play on my PC. Kind of sucks.
I mean,
thinking about yeah.
It's convenient, and when we were playing Animal Crossing, it was obviously used a lot. But I feel like it was a stopgap solution during unfortunately during the pandemic, where we needed something to do, and that's what it accomplished for about a couple months until we stopped playing it. So
And now
Months.
it's just
Don't lie.
It's just
Do
a
not
centerpiece
lie.
now.
not
It's a
months,
centerpiece in my
it's
setup, dude.
days.
No, I played for like a couple months, Matt.
I played for months. You guys did not play for months. I know that.
I played. You know what?
No, I played up to I played up until
da-da-da.
I played up until terraforming, and that actually fun.
There's so much more after terraforming. Please.
Like
I never got that far.
The real game.
Wait, I'm looking it
What
up
do you
right
mean?
now.
I thought the real game is just making bells and using like what's it called? Nukazon?
Nukazon
I played for 60 hours or more.
How do
or
you check
more.
that?
That's what
There
this
is
is on
a-
this is on my Switch right now.
It has
Options.
my Switch is in my car.
In your car?
Hey, how do you check
You leave
that?
it in your car?
I
Is that why you need a
moved.
new Switch?
I moved. No, I have my New Horizons one still. It's still sealed.
He has multiple Switches. He's a collector. So
I can even
understand.
take my girlfriend's Switch. She doesn't use it.
Oh my gosh.
See, she's like the prime market for that game, and she doesn't even use it anymore.
No, The Sims. She plays The Sims. She only plays The Sims.
Anyway.
Oh, that's fair. Sims is really good.
I ask her, "You want to play Valheim with the boys and Ida?" And she's like, "No,
Oh
I'm
my
playing
god.
The
Okay.
Sims."
Can we talk about Valheim a little bit? Can we? Because
Okay,
all three
before
of
we
us have been
talk
playing
about
it. Okay, go.
Before we talk about Valheim, the premise of Valheim is obviously we mentioned earlier is Minecraft meeting Norse mythology, but there's an end goal in the game, right? I mean, Minecraft has Ender Dragon, right, which is the main goal, but there's 5 main goals in the game, killing these, gods or something. So we've been doing it for the past 2 weeks. Go ahead.
No, it just oh my gosh. I drop in like 'cause I know like Barry, Matt, Ida were playing it, and like, Ida stopped playing World of Warcraft with me. So I was like, okay, I wanna see what all this hype is about. I saw Barry streaming it on Discord a bit, and I'm like, okay, I'm playing it. I've never played like a Minecraft, a survival game before. It's not my style. But then there's just something about this. There's something about this just stupid yelling at each other, like
So fun.
it's oh my god.
You know what it does? You know what it did to us, Tim? It brought in the childlike wonder of the multiplayer games that we used to play.
Oh my
It
god.
gave us, and you know what? It's scratching the itch that WoW is supposed to scratch right now.
Oh yeah,
It's everyone, a group preparing for a raid and doing the raid.
Okay, so
But
there was this one fight that I think about 7 or 8 of us, right? We go in. It's this swamp beast that looks like the what's his name from Nightmare Before Christmas? Ooga Booga
Boogie Oogie.
Boogie Oogie or whatever, right? We go in. We get wrecked. We get absolutely wrecked. Barry goes on the wiki and he reads that this monster is weak against iron. So for the next hour, we're just mining iron to make iron weapons or like blunt weapons, and we go in, we come back, and we just like Zerg rush this guy.
Or the time where someone forgot to bring the sorting cores, or I brought them. I brought them. Because you know what? They weren't in the chest. I took them. I put them in the boat. I don't know. I honestly still think it's you, Matt. I still think it's you. You probably put them in your inventory and we're like, oh, I don't know how to put this back in, and you just drop it, and it's in the freaking water. No. I will. You know what? I need to hack the game to see where it is.
How about the time that where we killed one of those gods only for someone to summon him again? I don't know who it was. Who was it?
Blame everyone Barry. Blame everyone Barry. That's what they call him. That's what the government calls him. That's his government name.
It's
you blaming me. I didn't the course. It was you.
So funny because I even told Ida it was me. It's like, no, it was Jarek. He was right there. I can't believe that.
No, but yeah.
So we've been playing Valheim.
It's a really good game, and it only costed like what? It was $17.99. It was $17.99 when I bought it, and it's an early alpha release. But they're gonna right now like
it's in Steam early access. Yeah,
we got like what we there's 5 gods that we have to kill. We're on our 5th one. We're actually taking a break.
They're trying to end it at. I think they're trying to go for a max of 9.
Yeah, 9 gods for the 9 realms.
And they're still working on it. They just recently had an update. I think like a month ago, or like a couple weeks ago.
Before we started playing. So
yeah,
we've been playing the latest patch, Barry.
Yeah, so it's fun. And I think we mentioned this before in a previous episode of the previous season when we talked about early access games or something like that. And I personally don't like the concept of it, but at the same time, this is like the new age, and we just got to get used to it. Where early access games are the only way some developers can truly fund their game to completion. Like, I've been playing another game before, we mentioned it, Escape from Tarkov, which has been in early access.
Strive. I'm like, what?
No. That one's great, but yeah. So Escape from Tarkov is like an early access game still in beta, and it's been beta for like friggin' 5 years. And the developer doesn't charge like any microtransactions or anything, just a one-time fee. And that's sometimes the only way you can actually get, money in for your early access game, and that's just the new age of it. Like Kickstarter's not so much anymore. It's all about just Steam early access, showing really the power of like digital distribution platforms and how they can make developers or allow developers to actually make games, even though the game's not being done yet.
No, I mean, and if you think about it this way, how else are you supposed to test a multiplayer game? You need players, right? You definitely need players to test out all the kinks, report all the bugs, complain to hell and high water, right, about like what's going on. And yeah, and based on that feedback of what makes or breaks a developer, like see what they can do with that feedback, see if they can improve.
Mojang is a perfect example of that. Yeah. I don't know if maybe Matt probably bought Minecraft before me. But
beta, were you
oh,
there
okay, never mind. I had InfDev, so I was pre-alpha. But yeah, no, like Minecraft is a perfect example. Like it was like $15 when it first came out in InfDev, and now it's like 25, and it's a full. It only recently became a full game like last year, or like 2 years ago.
In Minecraft,
they still update it.
Huh?
10 year.
It's still being updated. So like that's the real like goal, you want to be false. I don't know when it came. I don't know when it first passed 1.0.
I thought it was like past 1.0 like in 2013 when they had like the
really
Minecon and then Notch pulled like the lever and Minecraft.
Really? Is that? I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah, I watched Minecon.
8 years. That's 8 years ago. That's crazy.
What are you doing 8 years ago, dude?
and we still play it.
Melee. Yeah,
Yeah,
people
Melee
still
probably.
play it. Probably Melee.
Yeah, will I be still playing Valheim? I don't know. There's only 9 gods now,
no.
right? And we're joking around
Like, the
about
thing
like
is,
we're
mean,
joking
it's
about
mostly
how,
cheap.
we're just, yeah.
no, about
We're
how
gonna
like
finish
we're
it
gonna kill
already.
we're gonna kill the 5th god. We're gonna stop playing, but Ida's just gonna keep on playing and building a utopia base. And we get back like, what is this civilization in preparation for the next gods we have to kill.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
Actually,
it was $17.99, and I think it was well worth the price with the amount of time we
Yeah.
played.
I mean, there's new games coming out too. So, I mean, in terms of indie, but also E3 just happened in last month on the like, I don't know, sometime, right? So, Nintendo, as much as in their infinite wisdom of copyright and all that, still popped off despite, E3 having sort of being hit by COVID and being an all online, which is crazy if you think about how much foresight Nintendo had to be the forerunners of creating like this sort of direct
Mhm.
process, like this live stream, pre-production live stream thing,
Mhm.
or rather pre-done, whatever. So they actually released something that's huge, really big, for a game that arguably does not have the sales that it should to release, right? And that would be Metroid. So of course there's Metroid Prime. There's Metroid Prime 4 that was announced, I think, like 2 years ago, like a while back.
Mhm.
But more importantly, one of the hugest, like biggest releases for like the past 10 years was this mythical, like urban legend game from Metroid called Metroid Dread.
Mhm.
Like Metroid Dread was supposed to be the sequel, I believe, to Metroid
Fusion? Was it Fusion? No.
I think it
Fusion's
was
4.
Fusion, right?
Yeah.
Metroid Prime, Metroid. Okay, so it's supposed to be a sequel to the previous Metroid before Metroid Prime, and it was even in cameos. Like they actually did a copyright. They registered the trademark for Metroid Dread. They had like stuff in Metroid Prime talking about Dread. And it was all in like Did You Know Gaming and all that stuff. So people knew about it, right? And then he finally released it, but not only announced it, but put gameplay footage on it.
Gameplay footage, and like the thing that tickled my pickle is that it's a 2D Metroid platformer. Like it's a little bit of history. I used to speedrun Super Metroid. Like I used to be like, I think number 12 in the world for the 100% category. That was a long time ago before anyone actually sped run that game. So I really, really love like the 2D one. That's why like I was never really a big fan of like Metroid Prime, because I wasn't into the first person Samus. But this is hype. I'm really, really excited about this, and it looks really good. Look at Samus there. Look at Samus.
Yeah, this is definitely a sequel to Fusion. You
Is
can
that
tell she has her
Gladys?
Fusion suit. Are you making a Portal reference?
Yeah, I know Portal.
No, it's not. It's not.
I
Oh, there you go. See, everyone was like, "Oh my god, 3D Metroid," and then they did this, and
Oh,
everyone's
look
like,
at that.
"Oh my
Oh,
god, it's a
that-
2D Metroid game."
No, I'm
but
so
don't they
hyped
have
for
like
that.
those cutscenes? Like I thought they had those cutscenes like from that they did in
Other end.
Samus Returns on the 3DS,
Oh,
which was
no,
just a
yeah.
remake of
Metroid 2.
Metroid 2. Yeah.
Dude, Metroid Dread has the same color scheme as ShaydoGaming. Did you see that?
Oh goodness.
Oh,
So
man.
it's exciting. I just want to point out that like Metroid in general just does not make the numbers that other Nintendo games do. Like that's a fact. That's just like a well-blown fact. But for them to still like want to make more of that IP is just, that's sort of Nintendo's thing. They can just do that. They could be like, "Oh yeah, we'll just make another Metroid game. It's fine." Right? I mean, they did Kid Icarus. Like that game before Kid Icarus Uprising, there was only one, and it was the NES, and I don't think it sold that well.
No, it's
Please tell me.
man.
Please correct me, Matt. I'm pretty sure you know.
They had a Game Boy version. No, dude, that it sucks. They do this with all their IPs. Like, no, I just want to talk about like they had Pikmin. They made Hey Pikmin. Didn't want to play that garbage. They had Chibi Robo on the 3DS, and it wasn't like a real Chibi Robo, and I didn't want to play it. They keep messing this up, and then this one, it looks good. I'm excited.
Yeah,
No,
Pikmin
Hey
was fun.
Pikmin.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
I don't know
Hey
what Hey
Pikmin.
Pikmin
On
is.
the,
What's...
it's like it's a platformer. It's not the traditional
Oh, that's
like
a yikes.
RTS. It's completely different. Same thing with the Chibi Robot. It's a platformer. It's not like it's a 2D platformer, not like a 3D platformer like the other ones were.
Oh yeah, Chibi Robo for the PS. Wasn't Chibi Robo on the PS2? I'm 100% sure Chibi Robo was on PS2.
No, it's GameCube and it was on Wii, and then they had a DS version, but then the 3DS version was dog water.
Oh yeah, game. Okay, I don't know
Mhm.
why I confused PS2 with GameCube. I remember playing the demo of this. That's why. I think it was like GameStop.
Your former place of work, but yeah. Man, I like how you say like Metroid. Metroid is actually the most talked about. I feel like when it comes to like the Nintendo Direct, like everyone's buzzing. When's the new Metroid game coming out, etc., etc. But then, ironically, like you said, Barry, it doesn't pull the numbers. It really doesn't. So it's just there's like a lot of big disconnect from like the vocal fans and the actual people that buy these things. Metroid Dread, yes. What makes Metroid so good? I don't know. Maybe it's like
I think it's the exploration really, and like the bleakness of it. You know, like it was a very not I wouldn't say mature, but
it was a lot darker than
game.
the like Super Mario World. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
No, I remember back then when I first played Super Metroid as a kid, I was really scared of it. That so much that I traded games with my friend. He had Super Mario World 3, and we traded cartridges because I couldn't play Metroid anymore. Makes me not play. It's scary. Yeah, and I mean, there's a reason why they call these kinds of games like the Metroidvania style, because the exploration and the fact that you can sequence not sequence break. You can sequence break, but a lot of the times, like you go to a certain area, it's not accessible until you get a certain item. Like you have to progress through the game and go back to that area. Like, hey, what are those blocks that have like little X's on it? Is that looks like a grappling hook? But I don't have a grappling hook. Like maybe a couple hours in, 10 hours in, grappling hook, you go back to that original area and it opens up a whole new pathway. And that's what back then, that's what made Metroid so good.
Yeah, because the exploration aspect and like discovering new worlds especially in Metroid oh man, Super Metroid, where like you had what's it called, shine sparking and all that, where you had like, and each iteration had a different move. I think shine sparking was a Super Metroid thing.
Yes,
so
it
like
was
yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Super hot take though, I don't like the Metroid and Castlevania games for the hidden item stuff, like the hidden upgrades. Like they're super hidden, where it's like I have to first bomb this wall. I'm not gonna spend like all my missiles just bombing the wall, or like this. That's the one thing I really didn't like about like Metroid Fusion and like Castlevania games, where I have to just hit it and I don't even know it's there. But speedrunners know it's there. People who played, looked at the manuals, they know it's all there. But me, just someone who picked it up. That's the one thing I don't like. So I hope they fix that.
I think if you think about it, when in the context of when it came out, right, where we didn't have the internet, we had Nintendo Power, and we had word of mouth, right. This is kind of like the same concept as like Mew was hidden under the truck at SSN.
Oh, Peekaboo, dude.
Yeah,
God.
like stuff like that, right? You can imagine that, but imagine someone saying, "Yo, there's a missile upgrade in this place," right? And you go and check, right? So you find it, or sometimes it doesn't. So like someone fibbed in your elementary school, and you punch them in the face afterwards because they lied. But having that word of mouth and having all of that stuff kind of gave this childlike wonder and charm when it came to finding it yourself, right? Imagine finding this secret and telling your friends, right? And then having that be like, oh my god, I just like when imagine someone who discovered wave dashing for the first time in Melee, right? They tell this legendary cheat move that makes you move faster in the game, right? No one knew about it, but then eventually spread out, right? It's like Sonic and Melee. Actually, that's a perfect example too, where like we just had word of mouth, and like in arcades, you had word of mouth as to what Ryu can do. Is like, oh my god, he has a dragon punch. What's a dragon punch? Oh, you just do this motion, right? And you learn because of it. So it has that sort of discovery aspect to it.
What's that Akuma's demon grab thing?
Raging Demon?
Raging Demon. Was that ever documented back then? Like, was the button combination documented?
Well, the thing about button combinations is that when consoles came out, Akuma wasn't out. Well, you gotta consider it when Street Fighter 2 came out. Akuma came out later, right? That's already when the game was established and everyone had like strategy guides and stuff because consoles came out as well with that character. But you can consider like in Street Fighter 2 specifically, people didn't understand the concept of stun combos or like combos in general. Could you imagine figuring out heavy kick into medium kick into Hadouken is a combo? Like, what's a combo, right? I'm a 12-year-old kid. What is that? What does you mean the chips? The pretzels?
Oh my god. Where's my toy,
so the discovery aspect. Yeah, it's the discovery aspect that's important.
I get that, but when I'm playing, like, so the first time I played Metroid Fusion was on the 3DS because I had the Nintendo Ambassador program, so I got it for free. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this. And I got to like the final boss, and it's like, why am I so underpowered? I should have like full health, full missiles, and everything. But here I am. It's like my whole step was like super dinky, and I'm like, like, why is it like this? And it just like maybe, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore because I have so many other games I could play. I'm not gonna go look for things, and so I guess that's just my main gripe. I have better things to do.
I don't think it's necessarily a problem with you. I think it's a problem with your preference in what you want out of the game, right? You want to finish the game, but the game's like true goal is to explore and find things and want to do that. Like Skyrim, right? People have different goals in Skyrim. Like, people just want to finish the story. When I play RPGs, I literally just go from point A to point B. I don't care about the secrets. I just want to finish the story, right? But other people want to finish the sphere grid on Final Fantasy X. They want to get all of it because that's their goal.
And you gotta keep in mind, like, when did you play Metroid, the Metroid game that you're talking about? Like,
well, he had 3DS, so he had to have played like at least in 2010s.
Or whatever.
Well, I mean, when Super Metroid came out, like, let's be real, do we have that many games when we were kids? Like, I only had Super Metroid. I remember my parents buying me the SNES Super Metroid combo, and that's the only game I played. So that's like the one thing I was like, that's like discovering all the stuff. I had all the time in the world for that. But as we've grown older, we don't have as much time as we used to have as kids, and we also have a ton of games. And 100% everyone in chat here has like a Steam library with like 90% of the games unfinished, untouched.
I think you also have to consider that back then, we also didn't have resources, and we had time and no resources. And I think that's the important thing, because resources change the meta. Like, we're talking about esports again, can change the meta of how a game can grow, right? If you played League of Legends in 1999, pretend it existed in 1999, right? Pretend for just a split second that this game existed
about Dota,
in 1999.
Dota All-Stars.
Forget about everything, right? Pretend it existed before the internet. You could only play it like in a vacuum, right? It doesn't have it. There's no internet, there's no YouTube, there's no forums or anything, right? And you try to play this game, the meta will be completely different from how it would grow today, because resources are unavailable. That's why Melee people are still discovering stuff, because the concept of resources and people researching is so much different than it was in 2000 and like even 2008, 2007. Right? When a game like, for example, Street Fighter 4 took forever for the meta to really develop until like maybe Super or Ultra, or not even Ultra, AE 2012. Street Fighter 5, people immediately knew what to do. Like, if your character comes out, you just if a new character comes out in any fighting game, you go on Twitter and look at all of the people trying to find tech for it. You just immediately know what combo routes you need to do, optimized neutral tactics, and all of that stuff in the span of a week. That would take months if you're trying to do that back then, And that's kind of what I'm trying to say when it comes to think about the context when the game came out, like Super Metroid and all that. You had time and you had no resources to look up the game, so you had to do that. Unlike Matt, where Matt had Matt has time, right? but he had also a different mindset. Like you said, he has a lot of games, but also had hella resources. He could choose to look this up, but he knows that I don't want to do this.
I mean, it's part of the immersion too. Like it just feels so weird. Like I get back in like the 80s, 90s, whatever, early 2000s. Like, oh yeah, just bomb this random wall that everyone's doing it. But like me, I'm just like, I'm playing these games in 2010. Why am I gonna bomb some random wall that doesn't even have like a slight crack on it? That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's why your
Yeah.
like your mindset of how the game is, how games should be played is different than what Tim's would be. Like, oh my god, I gotta bomb every wall. I got time. I need to figure out which ones.
No,
I don't know which one.
Gotta bomb every wall until you find X-ray vision, so you can see which wall you can bomb.
And then you get X-ray vision every single wall. Only in Super Metroid. Only Super Metroid.
Oh wait! I bet there is X-ray vision in Fusion then, because it's number 4.
I don't think there's X-ray in Fusion. All I know is that they had space jump. That's it. And
No,
like, it was weird. They had
there was space jump in Metroid or Super Metroid.
Yeah, I know there was. It's weird because Metroid Fusion had Ice Beam, and I'm like, how can there be? No, Ice Missile. I'm sorry. There wasn't Ice Beam, right?
No, there's an Ice Beam.
No, there can be. Metroid Fusion.
No, Super Metroid had Ice
cannot
Beam.
have. No, I know Super Metroid, but Metroid Fusion didn't. Canonically, she cannot have Ice Beam because she was fused with a Metroid and could not use Ice Beam because she would be
Yeah, no, Metroids are weak against
by
ice.
her own beam.
Yeah, Metroids
I'm a
are.
weeb. So anyway.
Metroids are weak against ice. You have to freeze them and then you shoot a super missile at them to kill them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So the tangent has been made, but more importantly, Matt, I'm surprised you couldn't beat Metroid Fusion. That game was
I
not
beat
hard.
it. I
Okay.
beat it.
I thought you
I'm just
didn't beat
saying, how dare you? I'm gonna.
No, he's just saying that he went underprepared and it was just like, dang.
I love going underprepared.
It's called making a story, Barry. I just left. That's my story, and like, wow, it is that dumb. But in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm doing this. I have nothing better to do. It's Saturday night. Ball of Shasta. All
I
Rush
have that
mixtape.
mod. You know I made that mod? I made that mod in Guilty Gear.
Yes, I
That
saw
sounds
it.
like such a Guilty Gear intro. Oh my gosh. And like talking about like this in general, because we have to relate it to esports somehow. A lot of esports is a thing that we're part of now. That sounds terrible. I shouldn't say it like that. We partner with a lot of esports, and we have to
Sounds
sort
so
of
defeated,
like,
Barry.
I mean, no, it's cool. I mean, Ken's cool. He gave me jerseys and stuff, and
I want a
do,
jersey.
Like, speaking of it, well, yeah, you have a jersey.
No, I don't.
I thought you have a
No,
jersey.
I have a GUFGC jersey. I don't have a Laddie jersey though.
That's all that matters. Speaking of the FGC, so since we are part of the Lottie Esports, I guess, network, we can also talk about some Lottie Esports stuff, which will be not necessarily exclusive, but I like leaking stuff, so it's fun. I think Ken's in chat. Anyway, so Thursday Night Hype is something that we used to do, me, Tim, and Matt, back when we had tournaments for. Actually, no, you guys weren't involved yet.
No, I just played.
Me,
I just played.
Yeah, it was me, Peter Kimbao, GGPQ from Twitch, and actually just me and him, and we just did a tournament. Yeah, we just did tournaments for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and then when the bar opened, Select Start, we did Melee with these 18-year-old kids who only bought water and spent 4 hours there, and our bar died because of them. Anyway,
We did it. It was not us. Listen.
And whenever Jarek won, he just bought Monster, and it was irritating. I didn't like any of you guys. I literally didn't like you guys.
That is why I have a caffeine addiction. It's Barry's fault. It's Jarek's fault. If you just said you can only use this for water, you can't get free Monster anymore. I wouldn't have a caffeine addiction, Barry. It's all your fault.
I hated Jarek back then. I hated him.
No,
he's like this weird bowl cut kid playing Melee. Who are you? Where did you come from? And I remember the anime Nemesis arc that Jarek had. It was so good.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go into a story time.
We talked about this last on Sunday,
no,
Matt.
But we gotta talk about it. It's so good.
Okay.
So the story of Young Money.
Young Money in chat,
Money
everyone.
Is that this all right, so anyway, he decided to enter a Super Smash Bros. Melee tournament at Otaka Recon 2011. This is the very first Otaka Recon that had Melee, and probably, the very first Melee tournament besides Fighters Fest. Anyway, he enters into the bracket as a Link player, if I recall.
JJ.
Young Link or Link?
JJ.
And
Link.
And he enters in and fights Tim Foxtrot. Tim down there. And Tim bodies this guy. He destroys his life. And then from there on, Young Money decides to go full ping pong.
No, you know what he did? You know what he did? He looked up the resources, right, Barry? The resources that were readily available.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No,
the resources were so
Dumb.
important. And then he tried with all his might. He switched from Link to, I believe, Falco.
Falco, yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
First Falco. And then trained his heart out. Entered into Thursday Night Hype.
Oh,
Wait. Was it Thursday Night
Yeah.
Hype?
No. It was Friday Night Fights.
No, it was
first,
one. Yeah,
and
Friday
then-
Night Fights.
But he didn't join that one.
Yeah. So he started joining tournaments at Select Start once he hit 18, and Tim was there. And the very first TNA Thursday Night Hype with Melee, Jarek is just destroying Tim, like destroying him. And I hated this kid because he was beat, and I didn't like that. So I was like, anyway, finals in Thursday Night Hype season 4. This is the first stream that we did at Select Start season 4. Grand finals. This dude puts, you know what? Recreation. Oh, puts the hoodie up.
Oh my.
Just starts destroying Tim, right? Tim is just getting bopped in the neck. Like, oh my gosh, he's just getting bopped. And then Tim finally takes a takes a game in a comeback fashion in Dreamland. And then Tim puts on his name, because you can put names in Melee, Evo, right? And then Jarek, in his infinite wisdom and trash talk, put Evo ? Questioning Tim's ability to enter Evo and do well, and then destroys Tim and wins. Omega wins it. It was so good, but I hated you guys. I really didn't like you guys because you were so cocky, but then I realized you weren't cocky.
No.
Jarek,
no.
I didn't know the story at the time.
No, it was funny because if you look at the footage, whenever I won, these guys were cheering. Jarek's friends were all cheering for me. That was hilarious.
Friendship Wonderland. So anyway, that's the story of Thursday Night Hype in terms of like how historic it is when it comes to the fighting game community. There's people decided to end careers in that game. Another player, Joseph Spencer Garrido, aka Birdie, probably won like $1,500 to $2,000 worth of money from us. Like we would enter Marvel tournaments in this like I think he was 16 at the time. Yeah, he was a kid. He was actually a kid, and would just beat us in Marvel. It was so free. It was so unfortunate because everyone was just like, "Who is this guy? Takes money from us, goes to prom with it," and just anyway, I hated him too. So Thursday Night Hype is happening again.
Oh,
with
the
Laddie
return.
Esports.
The return
of
of
Thursday Night Hype. Fighting game community is back, but we're going to be playing games with good netcode this time. So that's going to be Guilty Gear Strive and Super Smash Bros. Melee for the Nintendo GameCube.
The same exact Melee that we were just talking about because...
So yeah, what we're talking about, all this Melee stuff, we're going to have Melee in Laddie Esports. So the cool thing is, we actually have a perfect example of that meta stuff we're talking about in... Well, Caberdian mentions IJ and Blaze, which is a good example too. Those guys were like literally children who just learned Melee optimally, I might add, with claw grip and all of that stuff. But let's talk about Steam Pot Turbo.
Turbio.
That guy is like what? He's like 14 now, right?
No, he's
Yeah,
he's forever 13 to me, dude.
Okay, so he's like a child. He's an actual child, and
That's cool.
he is like on par with a lot of like he's good. He's really good. I don't want to say like top players in the melee scene, but
nah.
he's very good, and he's only a kid, and that's what's crazy is like you could just literally go on YouTube and learn how to play melee. You can learn how to play melee at a high level before falling in love and learning about love and heartbreak. Isn't that cool?
Oh
That's
yeah.
sick.
No, like it's funny how you should mention SteamPod and Thursday Night Hype because he mentioned that when he first got into melee, he looked up Guam melee on YouTube and it was that exact match, that exact video where it was me versus JJ. And it's funny now because SteamPod right now is like infinitely better than we were at that time, right before we went to Evo.
Crazy, right?
I think
like,
if
resources are so important.
No, if SteamPod, oh, Phoenix is mad. If SteamPod entered Evo as he is now in 2014, he's top 100, top 100.
He would make it out of pools.
He would definitely make it out of pools.
I might add, JJ, aka Youngest Moneth, and another player, Eustace, are the only two. Actually, no, I guess two out of the three or four people on Guam that made it out of pools in Evo, historically. That's in itself amazing. Because I believe Jarek made it out of pools
in losers. No, he made it out in losers. IJ actually made it out in winners.
Yeah, winners. But like that was like a big tournament because that wasn't the return of melee if I recall, was it?
No, it was
2 years after.
2 years. No, it was already it was already after
2014 melee had melee in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, 2013 was the return of melee because I remember that was Mango versus Wobbles. 2014 is the one that.
People.
Yeah.
So if you make it statistically, making out of pools means you are better than at least 75% of the players that entered. So you are better. They're better than 75% of the players at the time in the world. So you can imagine that. I mean, granted, melee is more of a North American centric game. Shout out to the Swedes, but you know. So anyway, Thursday Night Hype is happening. It's gonna be happening either next month or next week. No, it's gonna happen next month. So in the end of August, we're gonna start Thursday Night Hype, and it's gonna be online only for Guilty Gear Strive and Super Smash Bros. Melee. And hopefully, if more fighting games implement rollback, we could have it there. But hopefully, again, after the pandemic, whenever that may be, ends, we would probably have offline events again for the first time in like, you know what's so funny? Before the pandemic, we still didn't have offline events. Like we didn't do anything. Like I genuinely think like, when was the last time we had a tournament besides your tournaments, Matt? That's what I'm saying. You were the only tournament organizer at the time.
I think it was like quit. no, because Ken, because our
Laddie Esports
good friend Ken, he just finished his season, the first season for Laddie Esports, and so we were gonna kick off the year. We're doing casuals, and then the pandemic.
Yeah. Laddie Esports, man. I could see if you guys didn't know. Before Laddie Esports introduced League of Legends, before Laddie Esports did Valorant or Apex or any of these tournaments, we were like, and by we I mean me and Ken, we're literally just doing like Smash, like Ultimate, and Tekken, and like other games in a Gander Shopping Center every like other Saturday. It was irritating because I would have to bring so much gear, but yeah, now we're doing League of Legends, we're doing Apex, we're doing possibly
Valorant.
Counter-Strike Global Offensive at the end of the year, more Valorant and all that. It's crazy. It's interesting to see, bro.
Man, the logistics of that, dude.
6-player Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball's dead. Get out of here. Sorry, Caberdine.
That was no, but yeah. Thursday Night Hype's gonna be really, really sick.
Before we go, do you guys have anything to say? Because I do have an announcement that's coming up for next week.
Just want to give a shout out to Ken and Laddie Esports for having us. That's really, 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 we're really honored to be here. It's gonna be really, really fun. Really working with you guys. Being the, I guess, the quote unquote official podcast. Thanks. It was a lot of fun. Matt.
I'm just happy to be here. Thanks again for you guys to bring me here. I'm glad that like Ken was able to do like the Laddie Esports stuff, and look how big it is now. Makes me look dumb. It's really cool. I'm really excited to work with Ken and you guys more. So
I'd like to thank Ken as well. But we do have an announcement in regards to Next week is the Valorant Summer Series brought to you by Guam Woodward Memorial, Heavy Hitters, and I believe Coffee Slut. So we're going to be starting that. It's going to be a 4-week event spanning the course of a couple of, I believe, until the end of September. Correct me if I'm wrong. And that will be going up. And the thing is with Valorant is we had the team, the last team, Team Shoot then, winning that tournament. But the cool thing about the narrative right now is that all of Team Shoot then is split up between all of the teams that are playing currently in this new tournament. So it really comes down to who is the actual strength in the old team that can carry one of the 5 or 4 or 5 teams that are going to be playing in this tournament series. So we have, you guys might not know, but the chat might know, we have, of course, Zedrix, one of the best Valorant players on Guam. I think also the highest ranked Valorant player on Guam. We have Akursa, who's part of Team UOG. So those two are part of Team UOG. And then we have Whirly and Turtles, who are part of Team Shoot then. Whirly and being an amazing Counter-Strike Global Offensive original, like OG player back in the Guam server days, like a long time ago. But he's only like 23. So he played when he was a kid. And Turtles, his boy, I call him the dynamic duo. And then we have, of course, Kevin Jesus, who's in Saipan, actually, one of the few players that is not from Guam playing in this tournament, who's going to be in another team. So those are already 4 players, and I believe he's also with Alec, possibly one of the most rage-inducing players in Team Shoot then. But he, he's really he's competent, and he's also part of Jesus' team. So there's 3 teams that have 6 players from Team Shoot then. So that's interesting to see. And then we have, of course, Matt was supposed to enter, but something happened. But instead we have, we were talking about Blaze and IJA. Blaze actually has a team that's entering into Valorant. I have no idea what their name is, but he goes by Darkness. He always changes his name. It used to be Blaze Jesus, and then Blaze Jesus, and then Snow. I don't know where that came from. And now
Ember.
It's like Darkness. Huh?
You forgot Ember. You went by
Ember,
Ember.
yeah,
at
I
one
remember
point.
Ember.
God, it's such a
No, but
nerd.
Ember makes sense because Blaze, I guess.
Okay, but Blaze is his name. It just makes sense. It's
Yeah, what's his name? Dude, he has such a cool name. Blaze Jesus. That's amazing.
Wait, no, is it actually pronounced Jesus or Jesus?
I just want to say it's Jesus.
Okay.
That's so sick. But anyway, that's what's gonna happen next week, July 24th, starting at 2 p.m. on twitch.tv/Ladi Esports. So that's gonna be the last announcement that we're gonna have, and we'll be possibly seeing you. When's our schedule? What is our schedule for this podcast now?
We like to Wednesdays for sure. Optimistically speaking, every 2 weeks, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, but something may or may not come around, but we'll try to keep it consistent for you guys. Every 2 weeks. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Oh, we're saying goodbye now.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, no more announcements,
okay,
right?
later.
Bye.
All right,
Later, guys.
thank you
Thank you so much.